On today's episode of Watch Chair Go, we are here with the drivetrain, the complete drivetrain out of my $3,500 C5 Corvette. And today, we're gonna get the engine off here, and maybe we'll even get an engine on here. What is going on, guys? I am Watch JR Go, and like I said, we are here with the old LS1 out of the $3,500 C1 that went submarining. It took a little trip underwater, and today we should have a new engine being dropped off. So I'm super excited about the new engine. It's a huge upgrade from this stock LS1, and this car is going to make some power. Not only that, but it's going back together with a bunch of mods. I think we're going to go from this old 300 horsepower. You can't quite call it a boat anchor because it's aluminum, but it's a huge jump from a stock LS1. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the wires. I think we're gonna need the dipstick and a few other things off it. Obviously, all the accessories need to come off it, so I can go ahead and pull the AC compressor here. And then we're gonna go ahead and separate the torque tube from the engine. And I think that is probably the easiest part. We've got the transmission jack here to support the torque tube. Keeps it from moving very far while we do the whole switch in and out here. And I don't know if we're gonna break these at the union or if it matters at all. It looks like 110 is all that actually retains these. So hopefully I don't have to break these lines. I don't want to. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start getting the accessory belts out of here, even though they're all wrapped around the power steering. We got quite a bit to get out of there. Cool. Are these stockers? It looks like it might have been replaced at some point. Okay, there's one belt off. This is not branded at all, just a no brand belt. AC belt comes off next, so I get to loosen up this tensioner here, really just put a wrench on it, pop it back and get this belt off. Then we can pull the AC compressor off. I am going to take obviously this thermostat housing, probably use it on the new one. I think we're going to take the whole water pump, use it on the new one. This tensioner is new, which is nice. All this bracketry has to come off, and I think we're getting a whole nother intake with the new engine, which is great. We can leave all of this behind. As you guys saw the codes when I was working on this thing the first day, the throttle body probably has major issues. The throttle body position sensor doesn't agree with what the ECU is feeding the thing, and it was causing it to absolutely freak out. AC compressor coming off. Maybe. No problem at all. Is this turned down? It is. There we go. It's been on there for a while. And the last one. Cool. Go ahead and set the AC compressor to the side. I forgot the belt's still on the front. All right, popping the AC compressor belt off of there. Super easy. Now the AC compressor will come right off. Much better. AC compressor bracket, this should come off. Yeah, it looks like once it slides off of this stud, we'll be okay. Come on, there we go. And the stud will need, I'll have to double nut this and move this to the new engine, I'm sure, because that will not be on the new one. Progress, progress. Now if we could just get all the antifreeze out of this before I have to pull it. As you guys know, antifreeze is gonna go everywhere. Pulling the intake off. All you need is an 8, and you better have some kind of power tool, because this takes a while without a power tool. So quite a few over on that side, 5, 6 bolts over there, quite a few over on this side. All the fuel stuff goes with it, which is always nice. One more. All right, there. I think we got them all. Seems like everything's off here except for this coolant line into the throttle body, but all right, we're about ready to pull the whole thing off. I gotta pop this hose off and we're there. Popping off that last coolant line to the throttle body heat. I know everybody bypasses these. That was like the first thing you did on your F-body back in the day. Nobody does any of this stuff anymore, but you know, they always had throttle body heat, and that was the first mod. Getting rid of that because it was just pointlessly heating the air going into the intake. Now, you know, first it's probably gone, and second we know that it kind of helps sometimes. Keeps the throttle blade from sticking in cold climates, stuff like that. I think we've got the intake off now, I think. Should have been everything. There it goes. What's still holding me? Oh, there's a zip tie or something. Helps if I pull that one off. We've had it off 50 times. There we go. Look at all the goo. Look at all the water and moss. There is moss. That's what that little dangly thing is. No, people are saying this has a blown head gasket, even though it clearly was water ingress. Well, the old transmission fluid that's starting to leak out of our coupling here. We do have to split these unions, unless we want to get the lines like snaked through this, which I don't think is going to be easy. But we're starting to drip some transmission fluid, and it smells good, looks good. That dirt's coming off the coupling itself, so I'm pretty impressed. We are just about ready, or are ready, to pull this engine out of here. So a few more seconds, we'll get the lift plate on here. So, ooh, now we're getting it good. There we go. Really draining down, and then this lower line's probably gonna drain a ton. While this mess drains down, we're gonna pull the valley cover off and the spider, and I'll show you guys installing the lift plate, and this thing is out of here. We're just gonna grab the forklift and yank it right out. And we've got our new engine here. This is the LS6 it just came in from Indiana, and this came out of another C5, and it's time to unwrap it and see what we have today. So there's a couple packages here. We've got some new headers, even though we've got some new headers, and we've got some new headers, and we've got the stock headers times multiple. Let's see. Yeah, you wanna drive while I unwrap? You can pull me back, statue. This pallet's kind of in the way of our teardown, but let's go ahead and pop this here ratchet strap and unload this box. So this should be another intake with a throttle body, because we know the throttle body's bad.
Petco makes throttle bodies?
Petco has the new upgraded throttle body, Frog Edition. And this is literally, this is all Corvette parts. This is all for the C5. These are C8 wheels. I know you're not supposed to do it, but we might figure out how to do it. Let's party, bro.
Remember, safety third.
Safety never.
Safety never. You know, I like safety first. It always makes me wonder what happens next.
Look at the new engine. It's got Patriot heads. It's got a big nasty cam in it. I think it has a Summit balancer on it. Look at that. Already has a balancer, because you guys know LS6 balancers love to wear out and fail. This is the setup. I can't wait for all this power to go in the C5. And we've got headers. I don't know what they are. Oh, they're zip tied on, that's what they are. But they look like some no names.
Also from Petco.
Oh, look at that, they're not. They're BBKs. So we have some BBK headers, but we're not gonna run those. We are gonna run the hooker headers that we put on the last C5, because I love the way that sounds, and they're super easy to install. You can actually do it without pulling the engine. On this, we're gonna slap our new headers on and put in the new engine. So first, let's get the engine out of here. We're about ready to go. Spider's coming off. This is your steam spider here that lets the heads vent steam back to the radiator. And it's very simple to get off, although the O-rings typically fail. All right, so there's one more of these after we ditch this line here. Put this over here. And pull these studs out. This trash is going away here. It's always in the way. You can't work on these engines at all until you delete all the air. Use that power. Okay, problem solving. Okay, so we need a pry bar to get that out, and we're gonna go ahead and pull the valley cover as well. Oil came out of that bolt, interesting. Got them all. And now these back ones should come right up.
Maybe.
Got it. Cool. Look at that, the O-rings stayed intact. These gaskets usually always fail. I'm just gonna go ahead and give you that. Yep. Here's all the bolts that go with it. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. And pry bar one more again. Before we pull off our valley cover, we gotta get these knock sensors, which is a chore. You gotta squeeze the sides of these deals in. And of course the seals are in the way. Valley cover coming off. Gotta pop that harness off for the knock sensors and get them slid out of there. Cam looks alright. Doesn't look terrible. All right, let's put this out of the way. So we use the bolts out of the valley cover for the lifting plate. And I think we usually lift towards the front and all the holes line up right about there. So, almost home. There's one. You just kind of have to wiggle this plate around. It's not designed for the LS. This is for a 350 Chevy, but weirdly, it just kind of works. I know there are lifting plates that cover the whole valley, but you know what? This one works on every engine so far. So why not use that one? You gotta have a tin, run these back down. Boom. Time to pull our torque tube bolts out. Let's see what happens, see if the engine just flops over on us. But either way, we're all set up, forklift's ready to go, so we shouldn't be far at all. Ha! I did that on purpose, from getting this thing out of here. So, pop these bolts. Big impact, making it easy, as you would expect. The other bolts are all on the other side, so. Coming over there, we'll finish this up. This one already not holding anything. Last bolt. See what happens. See if she separates on us. Nothing happens. How anticlimactic. We're just first start.
You just want to start pushing.
Let's try to push and see what happens.
Just straight forward.
Yep. There's a little bit.
Yeah, we're getting
It's getting there.
nice.
It's getting there.
I'm gonna put the brakes on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
It seemed like that case was rolling.
Yeah, it was just a bit.
Basically.
Yeah.
And push. It's going! We got
The whole assembly is going.
Well, we've got a huge gap. We just opened it up a ton.
Jeez, how long is it?
This is why you can't put it back together without
No
pulling the
joke.
drivetrain.
Yeah, that's
Goodness, that thing's like
It's a nightmare.
foot long.
Ready?
yeah. Oh, jeez.
You're good. Push on your side a little more. Maybe we need 2 pry bars.
There
we go.
There you go.
Cool.
There's no way you're putting that back together in the car.
Well, I mean, people have done it, but what a terrible plan. All right, motor mount time. We're gonna yank these things off. Oop. I thought it might bind there at the last second. There's the engine. 3 bolts left holding this thing onto the cradle. Scott's gonna get the forklift up in the air. We're gonna go ahead and hook this and try to take just, you know, that much load off of it. And once we're there, I can pull those last 3 bolts. And this engine's out of here. She's out of here.
Come on.
Yeah, that's perfect, man. Come on in.
Go back.
Up. 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 You're under. Oh, perfect. Give me one tiny flip down.
Down.
Yep. All right, here we go. Last bolt. Go ahead and give me a little tension. Just a little. Okay, perfect. The engine is all yours, bro. Slow, 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 slow. Go ahead. A little bit. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Stop. Stop. Move these hydraulic lines. Cool. All right, up. Stop, 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 stop. Engine mount. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going.
Go.
Time to get our flywheel off of this thing. So we've got the cool collar for the torque tube here, and this is the piece that kind of holds the whole thing together. All the power runs through. Well, that is how you separate the engine from your torque tube in your C5 once you drop the entire drivetrain. It's honestly a pretty simple process, and once you yank the flywheel bolts out of there, you have to rotate the collar around while you work because there's no access to these. But once you get there, you're ready to put this thing on your engine stand and pull the oil pan off. Now, we got to get that pan over to the new engine because the new engine has a generic pan on it just for shipping because the Corvette pans are they're worth a little bit of money, that Batwing one. So this thing's going to sit just like this, and the next thing we're going to do is do the swap, get everything from this engine on that engine, and get our new headers mounted up, which I'm pretty excited about. Let's take a gander at these. I think they're the same ones I put on the other car, the green car. All right, Hooker Blackheart shorties, it looks like. 50 state legal again. All new bolts. Yeah. These things rock. and I'll post some video of that new engine running. The seller sent it to me before he pulled it out of the car because it was running last week in his car. He's doing a big build. There's definitely a ticking in there, but it's not the engine. It's the air block off plates. Brand new Hooker black car headers. I'm excited for those, and apparently I've got some BBKs for sale.
So this one's going in the sky?
No, actually the old owner is buying that engine back. He wanted it back. So obviously, like, if I leave it as is, right, if you tear it down, it's worthless. Everybody wants to see what's wrong with it, but they're just not worth $1 after that. It's like a rotating assembly. You'll end up getting maybe 150 bucks. They're worth about 1,500 as a core. So if you just leave it alone, it's worth good money. But I made the old owner a heck of a deal because he wanted it back. He made me a sweet deal on the car. I was like, come get it and drive the car when you come. So we'll get everything swapped over. We'll put all the extra stuff from that on this, you know, that other pan. Do the old swap-a-roo in the next episode, which will take, you know, just a little bit of time. We'll get it back in the cradle and we'll be ready to stab it. Ready to go. And yeah, the old owner's keeping a piece of that Corvette because he has a LS swapped Jag and needs some parts for that. And he gets the coils. I think we've got coils. Let's just, you want to go on an opening mission?
Let's do it.
What do we have here?
Let's see what we have.
What do we got here? This
Wait,
car
you
is,
said he's got an LS swapped Jag.
Yeah, he's got
That's
an
got to
old-
be the most reliable Jag on earth.
It is. I had an old XJ. You know, you guys know everything I have. These are the best wires on the planet. Those ones with the metal boot are horrible. These, so good. They're on basically everything we do. We've got a full exhaust for the car to make it sound right. And what do we have here? From the size of the box. Yeah. So, I need the coil brackets.
Hello.
Pretty red coils. We got the MSD coils, Excel wires, Holley everything. So, and of course it's getting tuned, air delete. The exhaust is gonna make a big difference. And C8 wheels. This thing went from a submarine, a cheap submarine, to a complete build in a week. Now I'm kind of excited to drive it. It'll be back together pretty soon. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjrgo.com for cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time. The reality is tomorrow, we're like spending the whole day in here finishing up electrical. So no engine for a day or something. And when we're done, there were a couple outlets that never got installed for the lights because there was no room. Too much box fill. So we're getting the extension rings on. The electricians will be here all day tomorrow. So I'm gonna be dealing with that. We're gonna have everything wrapped up, a whole bunch of new outlets. Obviously we just got the lift outlets. And I think we're even gonna have the outlets for the TV. So no more extension cords in the building. Wild.
Mo power.
Mo power, baby. That's what that is. That's the Mo power, baby.